Okay, the arrest of Nick Patterson after that protest. Straight up, you heard when the guys asking for the camera just then. Obviously getting ready for it.
How you going, guys?
No, we don't talk to police.
Yeah, well, you will talk to us.
Yeah?
Yeah, you will.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
why
yeah.
is that?
Because you're not wearing a mask, so you've got it.
Exemption, mate.
Yeah, can you show it to me?
Don't have to show it to you.
That's all right. I want to confirm where you're from, mate. Yeah, no, come on, mate.
Police, unless I'm under arrest.
No, you're going to tell me where you're from because I believe you're outside 5K.
Based on what? What's your belief based on?
Well, show me your licence. Where are you
That's
from?
no, you cannot arrest me on an assumption.
No.
You
Show me
need to
where you're
have
from and you'll be
reasonable
right to
grounds.
go.
I'll quote you the High Court case. When a statute prescribes that there must be reasonable grounds for a state of mind, it requires when a statute prescribes that there must be reasonable grounds for a state of mind, it requires the existence of facts.
Everyone, cordon.
To induce that state of mind in a reasonable person. Please provide the facts to verify
What's your name?
belief.
Now, Nick claims that the Section 51 of the Police Act restricts the police to the duties of a constable at common law, which is quite right under Section 51A. But he's forgotten about the Section 51B, which goes on to say, and the duties, any duties and powers imposed or conferred on a police officer by or under this or any other act or any other subordinate instrument. So essentially that's any piece of legislation or act that the government puts into law that includes empowering the police officers to, the Victoria Police to conduct any duties under that act. So let's shoot across to the Public Health and Wellbeing Act, which should tell the story. Okay, the Health and Wellbeing Act, Section 229, subsection 2. If the section applies, the CHO may authorise a person or a council to take the actions necessary to ensure, as far as possible, compliance with the direction. Okay, subsection 3. An authorisation under Section 2 authorises a person or council to take the actions necessary to ensure, as far as possible, compliance with the direction. A person. Okay, under Section 250, a person, the Secretary considers appropriate for appointment based on skills, attributes or experience. Police officer, right at the top of the list. So there you go. So essentially, the CHO can appoint the police to basically enforce his directions, whatever they may be. Nick does protest his need to give his name and address, and I think the police officer goes on to say that it's prescribed under the Act. And quite right, it is prescribed under the Act. Now, under Section 190 of the Health and Wellbeing Act, where are we here? There we go. Basically, without a warrant, enter a premises. We've had that a few times already in Victoria. What else here? Required provision of information. Require a person to provide their name and address for the purpose of investigating, eliminating, or reducing the risks to public health. I'll note there the word investigating. So they can ask for your name and address for the purposes of investigation. So it doesn't say investigating who, it could be investigating someone else, it doesn't matter. Essentially, I think that the officer was quite within his rights to request his name and address because he wanted to investigate whether or not the guy was out of his 5k radius. But let's not get technical here. the fact of the matter is, let's all assume that this COVID thing was real. You know, that it was deadly. You know what? And your mother and your father and your brother and your sister and everyone else was dying around you. Wouldn't you want Victoria Police to have the powers that they've got? Wouldn't we want that? Wouldn't we want them to come down with the wrath of God, on anyone who put our families at risk? I think we'd all say that. And the bottom line is, the police are doing their job the best they possibly can, and are stuck between a rock and a hard place. Although this particular event was a stage event, as far as I'm concerned.
That I'm committing an offence.
What's your name?
Show me your license.
Where
You go my way. What's your name?
that I am committing an offence? Where are the facts?
What's your name? What's your address?
I don't have to speak to you unless I'm
Your
under
name?
arrest. DPP.
Get out of my way. Push my way.
Get out of my
Push my hand.
Okay, and I will not.
Your
be
name?
speaking to you.
Your name?
Send you come to Ellis.
Badge number? 41942. So I couldn't get that? 41942. Thank you. Your name, please? Excuse me, what's your name?
Crystal Brennan.
Your number? Thank you.
There is no arrest.
Crazy.
I don't have to speak to you. I won't be speaking to you.
This guy with the camera gets in all these
Don't push me.
officers' faces,
Don't push me.
antagonising them, really getting in their faces big time, enough to piss anybody off.
Oh, you just got
Heckling
your
them
gun, you think
like
you're
crazy.
bullying me? Fuck you.
What's this intimidation? Why is everyone here?
None of your business.
Mostly this
And make sure we get all of this
Nick.
and show how they treat people.
gives this
Reasonable grounds. It's the High Court case, George
Officer
Brennan,
A
1990.
addressing down
When
in
a
front of
statute
hundreds of
prescribes
his
there must be reasonable grounds for
colleagues.
state of mind, including
What police officer
suspicion or belief,
worth
the
anything
belief it
would
requires the
allow
existence of fact which is sufficient to induce that state of mind in a reasonable person.
this sort of shit to go on?
DPP versus Hamilton. I'm under no obligation to speak to the police unless I'm already under arrest. You guys don't know what the law is. You should not be being directed by the government. Okay, it's inconsistent.
Talking
with
down to him like a
Section
school
51 of
teacher
your own
to a
Act, the
kid.
definition of a constable at common law.
To a
and it
primary
says
school
in your own Act, Section 51,
kid,
you're a constable
it's
at common law.
it's
Also,
shit.
acting under dictation, being directed by the government is against one of the High Court cases.
Let's face it, these guys are just trying to do their job.
Metropolis of Police, ex parte, 1968. It's against that. Acting under dictation is how we get a dictatorship. It's against the law. I think you need to back
It's either
off.
them
You have no
or
idea about the law.
some
no
imports
idea.
from overseas.
There is no reason for you to be stopping me here. You're a
When
breach of the
big
peace.
poll
and I ask
can't
you to step
do their
back.
job any
None
longer.
of your business what my name is. Don't talk to me. I will not-
Look at them,
I don't
just
want to
standing
talk to you
around.
about any of that stuff. I'm not going to share
Like,
any
yeah,
information
you're almost
with you.
posing
I don't
for
trust
this,
you.
for this
You're not
event.
trustworthy, and I want you to step aside.
Yeah, so I believe you're committing an offence.
Based on what?
Because I believe you're outside your 5K.
Based on what? There has to be facts, or your belief is not valid at
Because
law.
you're not giving me anything else.
No,
but-
that's an assumption. I'm under no obligation to speak to you. That's an assumption. I'm under no obligation to speak to you unless I'm already under arrest. Okay? So to say because I'm not providing evidence to you, that is in conflict with DPP versus Hamilton. Okay? Supreme Court case.
Know your rights, buddy. Know your rights. Know your law, know your rights. You arrest us, we'll take you to court.
This dude does look
Shit
familiar
out of you.
though.
I've told you that I'm not going to share any information with you unless I'm already under arrest. And in order for you to have reasonable grounds for that arrest.
Hello, everybody. Name, numbers. Name, numbers.
Where's the social distancing?
I know. Social distance for me. Name, numbers. Name, numbers. We'll see all you monkeys in court.
DPP versus Hamilton, which apparently you guys all learn in the academy, and you should have learned that in the academy. I've had to learn.
Look at this, they just allow members of the public to just,
So
just
whereabouts do you guys come from today?
to wander on in, get in front of the other police.
So you're going to
They've
give me
virtually
anything
abandoned
or-
this officer on his own, they seem to be really worried about what's going
I
on.
don't trust you, I don't like you, I think what you're doing is
Police have actually stepped back and let more members of the public in there and get their
None of your business.
video
You
done.
can talk to them, but you know what? You're not going to. No, we're not going to talk to you. We don't want to talk to you.
Are you aware of the CHO directions?
No,
The
it's
directions.
irrelevant.
The
It's
directions.
irrelevant because I'm not going to talk
Are
to
you under direction from the CHO?
Yeah, so I'm talking
Yeah?
to him.
No, I don't care. You're talking to us. You're talking
Isn't
to
it
him.
nice
You're
of
talking to
him?
all of
It's
us.
inconsistent with
Giving
the
you a badge
definition
on
of
it like that.
constable,
Fantastic.
which is Section 51 of your Act, says the duties and powers of a police officer. Section 51 of your Act, you should know this, are as a constable at common law, and the definition of a constable in the LexisNexis legal dictionary, which is the most prominent legal dictionary, says a police officer has independent authority over their office and that they cannot be directed by the government or senior police. Okay, you're being directed by the government. That's called acting under dictation. That's systemic failure, and the fact that you don't know that shows that there's systemic failure in the system. You should know that. Yep. You should be doing your job properly. Okay.
You're talking above his IQ, Nick.
You should be arresting. You should be arresting the police. Not the police.
You're talking above his IQ, Nick.
I don't have to give you anything, and I know that. Based off what? Where's the facts?
Have you guys got the Indian variant? Have you got the Indian variant?
You're trying very hard to fish for something so you can create a controversy. I'm not going to let you. Now, if you do arrest me, even if you were to find that I was wrong, you would actually find that you didn't have the grounds in the first place for that arrest, and it would be unlawful in the first place.
That's why I want to have this conversation.
But I don't want to have a
You don't know how to converse, buddy. You don't. You're not answering a single question.
Sit here all day and converse with you if that's what you want to do.
Yeah, no idea.
That would be, well, then you need to step aside and let me go, and if you don't, that'll be unlawful deprivation of liberty. And I'll take you to the cleaners for that. Unlawful deprivation of liberty. Yeah, well, then you need to step aside. Am I under arrest? Am I free to go?
I'm not going to step aside because
do you answer questions? You've got a code of conduct. Your own code of conduct says you need to respond equitably to the members of the public. Now I'm asking you, am I under arrest? Am I free to go?
You're not free to go.
So I'm under arrest.
Okay, so I'm trying to...
No, you said it. I'm under arrest then, aren't I?
If you refuse to give me your name and
I don't have to give you any name and address. I
because I
don't.
believe you committed an offence.
But there's no merit to your belief.
There's no offence, there's no law, you goons. Seriously.
I'm not
Grow up
guilty until
brave.
proven
Far
innocent.
out.
I don't have to give you facts. You're already in the academy.
All of you are joke.
Guys, I'm under no obligation to speak to the police unless I'm already under arrest. That's the Supreme Court of Victoria. The High Court of Australia says when a statute prescribes that there must be reasonable grounds for a state of mind, including suspicion and belief, it requires the existence of facts which are sufficient to induce that state of mind in a reasonable person. I'm a reasonable person. Where's your facts? And don't say I'm not giving you facts and that gives you that proves any point, because I don't have to give you facts. Because the Supreme Court of Victoria says I don't. But the High Court says you, without the facts, have no reasonable grounds to verify your belief. So I just want to know how you can be detaining me here without giving me any reason as to why.
Victoria Police overstepping their authority.
Oh, is there someone else? Are you replacing tag team effort?
Just listen for a moment.
Well, are you going to engage with us and answer our questions?
I'm going to engage with
Thank
you.
you.
If you'll just listen to me for a second. By being here today, you're in breach of the change directions, all right? So you are risking.
Don't recognise them.
You are risking being arrested by the police. We are happy to arrest you if we have to, but we would prefer to give you the opportunity to leave now. Okay? So we're being fair to you, giving you an opportunity to leave. Otherwise, you will risk being arrested. Just listen to me.
Okay.
What's your name? What's your name?
So your business, what my name is.
We're trying to be civil. Yeah.
No, I'm not.
Oh, you're threatening to arrest us under a gun.
Then we have very different definitions of what civil is.
We're giving you an opportunity.
This is civil? This is civil? This is civil? Oh, the goons! Hello, goons.
Is this civil?
Oh, that's civil? Excuse me, is that civil?
Whether you have
How civil is that?
You've got.
It's irrelevant. You don't have the grounds for it in the first place, and I know that.
We're not going to argue about that, but we do.
Well, you don't, and we know you don't. So it's going to be, if you're confident enough, because I'm already going through the police conduct unit. I'm already setting up another, case against the PSOs that arrested me in the past. And hopefully, if you do it, Justin Goldsmith, Inspector.
Yeah.
Okay, Justin Goldsmith.
We're more than
And what's your badge
comfortable
number,
to make the
Justin?
arrest, okay? 29601. More than comfortable to make the arrest. We are giving you an opportunity, 5 or 10 minutes, to leave the area. Okay? So you've been given.
Look how civil. This is civil. Look how civil this is.
Hang on a second. Did you see what I see? Nah, surely not. Surely not. Raff! Wow. Well, I guess that explains and puts a sealer on the staged event then. This is at least 3. I've seen him, let's say, be involved with or be a part of. At least 3. Maybe there's more. I don't know. Yeah, great. Well, that seals the deal on that one.
Look how civil.
This is civil. What is
Look how civil this is.
What we've
That's really civil.
Police that
Hello, Hollywood.
actually follow the law. Police that don't follow their own Victoria Police Act. Police that act under dictation, which is how you get a dictatorship, and it's against the law to act under dictation.
Do you understand the direction that I've just
I
given
don't
you?
stand under any of your garbage.
Do you understand it? All
I'm not
right.
standing
You'll be
under any
given
of your
5 or 10 minutes to move on.
I think you need to move aside.
You've been given plenty of opportunity. Otherwise, you risk
opportunity
being arrested.
opportunity to
important. You already important
Let's walk.
as a human being. But you
Have you got the Indian virus? Look how civil that is. That's how you deal with police. You stand your ground. All of you constables, breaking the law. Every single one of you breaking the law. Breaking the law, you bunch of goofballs. Hello! Dickhead.
I'm not going to bother going over the rest of the video. I've left a heap of other things behind anyway that I didn't even bother mentioning. But let's face it, this thing was staged. There's no way you'd ever see Victoria Police acting so much like pussies, if you like. And you wouldn't expect them to either. Yeah, there's Raph again. There you go, buddy. Yeah, so, look. The question is why? Well, I guess best guess would be, off the top of my head, would be that is to promote or induce fear into the Victorian public of Victoria Police, because Victoria Police can't muster it themselves, because you know what, they're people like you and I. You know what, half of them, yeah, they're onto it as well. You know, but essentially, someone's got to do their job, and if it isn't them, you know, Mr. Andrews will, you know, import some nice, I don't know, Chinese soldiers or police officers for you, for us all. So let's just face it, you know, the cops are between a rock and a hard place, and like I said before, if this thing was real, you know, if this thing was the threat that they told us that it was, this COVID bullshit, you know, we want them to be coming down as hard as these crisis actors or this whole bullshit fiasco, bullshit video portrays. But honestly, I think that all they're trying to do is drive a wedge between the people, essentially, you know, the maskers and the non-maskers, and the protesters versus the goody two-shoes sitting at home with their eyes closed. You know, and they make them hate us more and divide us even more so, and also, raise this animosity between Victoria Police and the general public. You know, this shouldn't really be there. You know, I think we're pretty lucky in this state where we were up until now. You know, no, we can't say there's been, we don't have a history of police brutality in this state. You know, and you're talking shit if you say that we do, or we ever had, because we never have. Yeah, we had the odd, you know, wayward cop here and there, but you know what? Yeah, for every one wayward cop, we had maybe 10,000 wayward members of the public. You know. Yeah. Oh, well, this is a bit of a joke. Look at this, the standoff here. You know, the chest beating. Look at this. Wow. You know, come on, bring it on, boys. It's like it's like a school. It's got a schoolyard freaking thugs here. You know, like, come on, what a joke. You know. It's just so, like, I don't know, it's just a joke, end of story. But, yeah, so, Raph, maybe you would have, I don't know, if you got, maybe you should get the producers here, because this is just absolute crap, you know, absolute crap of an effort. But maybe it's good that it is, because hopefully the way I see through it, everybody else does as well, and sees through you, dude. This is not the first time, as we know too well.
It justifies our response that's coming.
Yeah.
What you've done is completely justifying what we're going to do.
See you later.
Is this guy insane? He just threatened Victoria Police.
We had them already.
He doesn't specify what he's going to do. He just says it's going to justify what we're going to do. What we're going to do. It was a threat. A big, loud-mouthed, empty, hollow, useless threat.
We are heading to
Makes my blood boil.
Clatwin Street,
Yeah.
intersection.
Guys, to go. We just want to go home.
Alright, boys.
I just want to go home. I just want to go home. Yeah, setting it up for the final showdown. Yeah, making them look like the victims when they got an easy ride, if it were all real.
We should. They're getting way ahead.
Now, what you
Hey, Nick,
won't see
turn around.
is one punch being thrown by Victoria Police at anyone at all. Maybe there's some better footage kicking around somewhere, but this video, I don't see Victoria Police hitting anyone, laying into anyone.
The cops are beating people. The cops are
At all.
beating them. The cops are beating them and pepper spraying
But,
everyone.
Let's just say that this wasn't a staged event, just for a minute.
Have a look, Australia.
Let's say that, let's say it was all real. On the back of that open threat that Nick made, saying that their actions now basically makes what's coming next to be justifiable.
Are you watching this? They got the baton
What did
down
that
over
mean?
peaceful protesters-
What did that mean?
protesters who are leaving
What did he
home.
have in mind to
you see
do?
this?
Like,
They
it was an
were
open threat.
leaving-
And
They were leaving.
you can't
Everyone was
go around
leaving home.
threatening Victoria Police like that.
Police officers are doing.
You know, it's like Avi Yemeni,
Police officers are doing.
you know, getting spear tackled at in front of the shrine there, whatever that was back in January, I think. Can't remember. Yeah, if that wasn't staged, okay, what is? Look, regardless of Vic Pole's conduct,
Look at this communism.
which I think for the most part has been pretty good, bar one or two exceptions.
Where are they?
But bottom line is, we're not going to do ourselves any favour by driving a bigger wedge between us, between the public and Victoria Police. I think that
Disgrace.
the last thing we need to do is go out and piss them off. You know, they're in a prick of a situation, and let's just face it, who do we want, them or some foreign forces coming in and doing their job for them? So the question remains is, to what end? What was the purpose of this event? Well, it appears probably served for multiple different purposes, but it seems to be the main message in this one has been the really bad advice of Nick to the public. Basically creating a legion of smart asses going out and telling the police how to do their job. Like, he's giving them this public dressing down, and obviously everyone thinks, oh, Nick's right. Oh, look, yeah, but the cops didn't say anything. Well, you know, like, you've got to go out and do your research, people. You know, and I wonder how many people have got themselves into trouble following his advice. Because he's wrong. Totally wrong. You know, so, yeah. So, yeah, essentially it goes towards this wedge. Now, am I saying that Nick's an idiot? No. I'm saying that Nick is another trained activist, like so many we've got in this state. We've got in Victoria, throughout Australia. But Victoria's been leading the way for quite some time. Look, I know, look, yeah, he's got a lot of followers, and look, some of you guys might be, and like, you know, the normal reaction is to go in the defensive, but, you know what, people got to remember that we're at war here. We're at absolute war. And, you know, these guys are playing for keeps.